always know how to put a smile on my face. let me say. That's
we'll switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, give it the old razzle dazzle, so to speak.
That's why they call us Razzle Dazzle. Boy, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's the last couple weeks have been rough.
Yes, you're telling me.
They've been very rough, very busy, very
There's a lot going on.
very strenuous.
I know. You don't gotta tell me. I get it. I mean, sometimes life just gets in the way. I was listening to the last podcast, which is one of my favorites, but I realized that we've been doing this for like 4 months now.
Yeah,
like a little. This is the first of the 4 months.
This would be the 17th episode.
Yep.
And if we do them every week, that's 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we missed the one.
We missed 1 week. Yeah.
It was a week vacation from recording.
It was rough.
I missed it, but it was necessary.
Yeah.
And the first thing I want to talk about is how we're fucking like we must be from the future. Because no sooner do we have this podcast, what happened in Illinois?
Oh yeah. Just this week, the Illinois House, the Illinois Senate passed a resolution to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and it's over 6 years. So the first year there's like, it's not quite $1 each time, but it's like 2 $1 raises within the first year, and then it's like every June after that it goes up by another $1 till it gets to 15.
And we were saying, can't do it overnight.
Yep.
You need to spread it out. And again, what's going to happen now? You're going to get, over the course of 6 years, they're going to raise that minimum wage up, and anybody who's making $15 an hour who isn't in an entry-level job, if you're not apprentice, because that's kind of entry-level manual labor type stuff. But, if you're that paramedic or you're that, manager somewhere, time for you. You got 6 years to fight.
Yeah.
You have 6 years to either motivate you to do better and make more, or you go out there and you fight for what you think you deserve.
Yeah, I think it'll help sort of naturally increase because it's not being done overnight. It gives the rest of the job market, time to
adjust,
course correct.
Yeah,
so.
And I'm okay with it. I said I was okay with it with the last one. Just not overnight, but I'm okay with the increase. And a lot of people, obviously, there's a lot of people who aren't happy. And you know what? Most of the people that aren't happy are people that don't make $15 an hour.
That is true.
I get it. Like, I get why you would be upset, but go fight. And you know what? This might force a lot of companies to start implementing what we talked about with like automation. You might see those kiosks. Yeah,
if it's cheaper for them to adopt and implement automation instead of paying people $15 an hour. I mean, yeah.
So, hey, it is what it is.
Realistically, you could pay people in India or China $15 an hour to build these kiosks, to like build and design these kiosks, because in India or China, $15 an hour is worth vastly more than it is here. So you could, like a $30,000 a year salary in India is roughly the equivalent of like an $80,000 or $90,000 a year salary in the U.S. specifically for like tech workers. So you could have a team of engineers out there build this and then implement it here instead of paying United States citizens, that $15 an hour. So it'll be interesting to see, specifically in Illinois. I think Illinois will become more of like a pilot area now for stuff like that.
You probably couldn't do this in smaller area. We have because we're located near one of the biggest cities in the country, it makes sense that a place like Chicago or New York or Los Angeles or, main metropolitan areas, it makes sense because the cost of living is so much higher.
Yep.
Now, if you go to, fucking Iowa or Indiana or, Montana or something, and you work at, One-Eyed Joe's hardware shop, he can't afford to pay you $15 an hour.
Right.
Right. So I think it shouldn't be on a federal level or a national level. I think minimum wage should solely be at the discretion of on the state level.
Sure.
And it should always.
Don't get me wrong. I think there should be a federal minimum. Like, it is illegal to pay
less than
$10. Right. I think there should be a federal minimum, but as everyone, I think states should do more of the regulation as far as raising, the minimum wage. I think it would make more sense to have, like, even if there was like a federal recommended minimum wage for the state. If somebody sat down and ran the analytics for, like, okay, this is the cost of living in your state, this is blah blah blah, this is what the minimum wage in your state should be relative to what it costs to live there.
Yeah.
Not a mandate, just basically saying, like, this is what it should be. Use this as a guideline. That would be good. So, since we're talking about stuff that we discussed last time, I was actually wrong about. I didn't really think about when I had said that I'm willing to bet people who go and file their tax returns this year are, may do an about face on, how they felt about the president and this administration beforehand, because, their return has the potential to be so much larger. What I didn't think about is the fact that people who aren't in, the upper middle class, whose returns are actually going to be dramatically smaller. And it's interesting because a couple days after we recorded, there was actually a not an article, but there was somebody who aggregated a bunch of tweets from Trump supporters saying, like, what the fuck, I voted for you and my return is like $400 less this year than it was the year before. And there were a ton of people who that happened to. So I didn't really think about it. Like, this policy may be targeting, like, the upper middle class and above. And obviously that's the first thing that I saw, because when I did my tax return, I fell into that category. So it looked like it was a positive thing, but I didn't realize that, it slipped my mind that there's obviously going to be a huge percentage of people that didn't benefit from the changes. So that's, I don't want to say, like, I told you so, but like, anybody who went out there and was like, yeah, I'm voting for Trump because he's a man of the people and he's going to take care of me.
It's interesting. It's that the poorer middle class, lower middle class, who are the most affected negatively, are the ones who voted for Trump. I know. And all of the wealthier who didn't are the ones who benefit. It's very interesting how that.
I was having a discussion with. I went to lunch the other day with some of our coworkers, and this doesn't have much to do with the story, but one of the coworkers I went with was Mexican, one was Indian, and one was from the Middle East. And I was sitting there having a conversation. We were talking about because this was like the day of the State of the Union, or the day before the State of the Union, and we were talking about, like, I brought up the tax return thing, and they're like, yeah, I don't understand how these people voted for him. And I'm like, well, it makes a little bit of sense. Like, if you're stupid and you're misogynistic and racist, who are you going to vote for? Were you going to vote for the white female liberal, or were you going to vote for the racist, misogynistic white guy?
I don't know if I'd say racist.
He's racist. He's come on. Yeah, there's really no. I don't even think he's obtuse about people knowing that he's racist. But anyway, the point is, somebody who has let's say, considerable racial overtones, and is conservative, or at least markets himself as conservative, and is misogynistic, and in general sounds like a moron. Like, hey, that's just like me. I'm going to vote for that guy. And I was saying that to this group of people. They're all like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I didn't really think about it that way. But yeah, that makes sense. But the other side of the coin is like, nobody voted for Hillary. Like maybe one or two people. But nobody voted for Hillary. Everybody voted against Trump.
I don't like the argument where people say, "Who's the lesser of two evils?" I hate that argument.
Yeah,
one is clearly more evil. Like, come on.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't a choice. There's a group of people that are never going to vote for a woman. There's a group of people that are never going to vote for a liberal, and then there's a group of people that are just that buy into his brand of bullshit. So you put all those three things together. I mean, lots of people, most people discounted Trump as somebody who could never win. And some of the smarter, and I know I don't agree with Michael Moore on everything or most things. But one of the things that Michael Moore had said years ago was like, discredit and discount him at your own peril. And he was right. Like, you have no idea how many stupid, racist, misogynistic motherfuckers there are out there that will actively vote against their own interests. It's a combination of ignorance and willful ignorance of not knowing better and not wanting to know any better. But it's nice because the bottom line speaks loudest. It's all these people who voted for Trump and are now getting fucked over on their tax returns when they were promised X, Y, or Z. It's like here's evidence.
It's kind of the name of politics, though.
Yeah, it's just
overpromise, underdeliver, baby.
That's exactly. And when I was at lunch with these people, they were like, well, how did people not know? Like, why did they vote for him? I'm like, because they're stupid. Why do you think one of the first things that Trump said when he was on the campaign trail, one of the very first things he said was, "I love the uneducated"?
Yeah.
Like, no shit. Because the uneducated are going to follow you.
I think he's been saying that for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Even way before the...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, as a business person, though, I mean, even when we were in sales,
Mm-hmm.
like, that's your bread and butter. That's your favorite. It's like, I fucking love the uneducated.
Yeah.
And this country, unfortunately, thrives on the uneducated.
Yeah, it thrives on the backs of the uneducated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This country doesn't want smart,
no,
free-thinking, questioning
no.
Citizens.
It needs worker bees.
They want people to argue about what bathroom you can use.
Exactly.
And worry about that for the next 5-6 years.
Exactly.
Instead of looking at how to do your taxes and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's this perfect example. It makes me so mad.
I was talking about...
Oh, you want to play footsie?
Oh, hey.
Is that you? Yeah.
Of course that's... Well, somebody else's foot is under my
I didn't
desk.
know if there was a Culver's sandwich down there or something.
My God. I don't need fucking norovirus again after that shit. The other thing I was talking about with them is, like, you ever notice that, like, they get all the white people riled up, like, right before something important's about to happen? Like, right before the midterm election, they were talking about the migrant caravan that was coming through Mexico and about to attack the southern border, and then right after the midterm elections, you didn't hear a fucking word about it. And then for like 3-4 days before the State of the Union, they started talking about the migrant caravan again, and then, State of the Union happened and no one talked about it. It's like, America, part of it is like, just ginning up fear for politics, and the other part of it is Americans now have such a short fucking attention span that, like,
yeah.
In the media,
I've nodded off twice since you've been talking.
And the media plays right into it. I mean, it's amazing. It doesn't, people forget so quickly. It just, and everybody knows it. Like, every time there's a mass shooting somewhere, everyone, the answer is like, oh, now's not the right time. Now's not the right time. Because they know in a week, no one's going to be talking about it anymore.
Right. Well, that's, I mean, anytime there's some sort of tragedy or something happens and it's a complicated issue, like gun control. Gun control is a very complex issue because you have, people on one side saying, we need to take all the guns, no more guns. And then you got the people who are like, no, it's my right to have guns. I should have more guns. The more guns I have, the safer we'll all be, because if somebody shows up, I'll shoot them, and all these things. And it's a very complicated issue. So when somebody goes and shoots up a nightclub, and you go to your politicians, your local, your state, federal, and you talk, hey, what do we need to do about these guns? Like, I don't care either way, which way we go. Are we going to have a discussion? Are we going to talk about it? Are we going to figure out a middle ground or something? Well, it's too soon. It's too soon to talk about that. Let's just hope and pray.
Yeah.
And pray for the families and everybody. And then, and then people forget. Mm-hmm. And then something else happens.
See, my thing is, like, nowadays, it's not even so much that anyone is advocating taking guns away. I understand those are the two polar ends of that spectrum.
Yeah,
but nobody's even on that end anymore. Everybody now, the vast majority of the legislation that people want to pass now, and it's supported by both sides of the aisle of citizens, not necessarily of politicians, is stuff like common sense gun control, universal background checks, like closing the gun show loophole. You have to have a background check before you can buy a gun. Like, it makes perfect fucking sense to me. Like, so let's say somebody just got out of a mental institution for talking about wanting to shoot up a school. They can't go into a gun store. They can go to a gun show and buy a gun with no background check and no waiting period.
Yep.
Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. How, gigantic magazines, 30-round magazines. Yeah, okay. You say, like, well, it's my right, blah blah blah. Okay, no, you can have your AR-15 or whatever. When you go to the gun range, like, if we limited the magazine size to 10, yeah, you'd have to reload more often, and it would be a minor annoyance, but it would also help to prevent more mass killings. It's arguable, and some people will say, like, well, what about knives? You could kill people with knives. Yeah, but I can't kill 30 of them in the span of 15 seconds. Like,
challenge accepted.
Yeah. I mean, it's like common sense shit like that. Like, even if the size of the magazines or whatever, like, you're always going to find a way around that. You could import them from somewhere or whatever. Okay, fine. Let's start with background checks, right? Let's make sure that the laws that are on the books, like, well, we have gun laws, we just need to enforce them and stuff. Fine, but let's make sure that they're enforced, like, unilaterally. Let's make sure that if you need a background check to buy a gun from a store, you should need a background check to buy a gun, period.
Yeah, no,
like, it makes sense.
That's the one. Like, I am very pro gun. And I agree with that.
I own guns. I am pro-gun as
well. I know. I'm just saying that,
it's like,
I'm not one of those pro-gunners who's like, no, nothing. It's in the Constitution. I should be able to have as many fucking guns as I want. I should have a bazooka. I want turrets on my house for the zombie apocalypse. And yep, see, as soon as the government is trying to take away our guns, I'm not that tinfoil hat, but, I agree with, letting people like, well, they didn't have these background checks with our forefathers. It's like, all right, listen, buddy.
Yeah.
When you're going out there and you're buying, an AR-15 or, any,
they didn't have
semi-automatic.
They didn't have semi-automatic weapons. They had 100% manual weapons. That's what they had.
Just loading it.
If someone was charging at you and you missed the one shot you had, well, you better hope you get him with that fucking bayonet.
Yeah.
Like, that was or a sword.
Or the pistol. They had pistols.
Well, okay. And if you miss that one shot,
you have 2 shots.
you have as many shots as the number of guns you can physically carry.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that,
if you're carrying your ammo in a fucking satchel,
yeah, I've got a rickshaw full of pistols that I carry around with me.
Pistols.
Side note, that'd be a great like either band or album name. Rickshaw Full of Pistols.
Rickshaw Full of Pistols.
Yeah. Anyway, patent pending.
You know what's interesting? Just my brain. I was actually thinking. I was like, I think shot for shot, I think a musket is probably more deadly than like a 9mm handgun.
Dude,
I think if you got shot with a musket, you're looking at like a 98% mortality rate.
So the muzzle velocity of a musket is much lower,
right?
Than it is of a modern,
which is worse.
A modern 9mm. So at distance, it wouldn't be as lethal. But from 10 feet away, if you get hit, the muskets fire a fucking ball bearing, like a half-inch ball bearing. You get hit with a half-inch ball. First of all, that's roughly what shotguns, like slug shotguns, shoot. You get hit with one of those from 10 feet away.
You're fucking
it's gonna blow.
done.
It's gonna blow like an orange-sized hole,
right,
in your body.
And
you're dead.
The fragments,
yeah,
would because it's not moving at a velocity fast enough to go through and through.
Mm-hmm.
It's hitting.
If it hits a bone,
it's hitting bone and shattering.
Explode.
You're fucking. Even if you survive
mm-hmm.
the cantaloupe-sized fucking hole in your chest, the fragments are gonna be bouncing around your body.
Yeah,
and
you're
just
dead.
gonna turn you into a fucking human slushy.
Exactly.
So you know what?
A slushy and a skin condom.
You
imagine you filled the condom with slushy. That's effectively your body now.
Go get a musket.
Go get a condom.
Those should be outlawed.
yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, it's like it's people who have like problems interpreting. They want to interpret a 200-year-old document as word for word.
Yeah.
Literal.
Yes.
It's like fine. Well. Okay, I don't have a problem with that, but fine, you're joining a well-regulated militia then, because people always forget about that part of the Second Amendment.
Well,
and then it's like no, this document, people have to stop treating the Constitution as like it was brought down from the
George Washington
from the mountain.
Walked it down.
He walked it down the mountain.
Tablets
After God etched his word.
Yes.
Into these tablets.
He walked down Mount Rushmore.
Lady
with
Liberty.
Tablets.
Lady Liberty used her etched with her fire torch.
Yep.
Thing that she carries.
I remember. I was there.
Into these tablets. No, like people have to stop treating it as holy doctrine. Like these are just some words that some dudes 230 years ago,
it's all we have,
wrote down. I know, but it should first of all, they built in a method of changing it by creating the capacity for amendments,
right? And
we can't be so scared of changing things up, but
it'll never change.
That we can't add additional constitutional amendments.
You've got a country that is only, less than 300 years old, right? 1776.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, we have a government that's less than 300 years old. I know what you mean.
You know what I mean. Since the documents and Constitution and
since the beginning of time.
and this, we are one of the youngest nations, but we're also one of the few that basically were founded on war, like guns, and that's why it runs so deep with people, is because the reason we're sitting here is guns. Many times over. Like, if it wasn't for guns, we'd be speaking German.
Japanese.
Or Japanese.
Or both. I don't know if you've ever seen Man in the High Castle. But if you haven't, you should. It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, right.
But that's basically what would have happened if America lost World War II.
Guns, man. Guns won the war. Guns got us our independence, and we've even fought in civil war, like ourselves, with guns. If it's guns that basically, I don't want to say ended slavery, but that was one of the big fucking. So
yeah, you never hear about the 48th Potato Regiment. They just threw potatoes at the Confederate soldiers.
Well, they were pacifists.
Beat them into submission.
So guns run real, just guns,
Yeah, well,
ammo,
war runs really deep
in American culture.
Yeah.
So that's why you have so many people who've never even been within 3,000 miles of a war, but still they feel it. It's in them. It's like, no, it's my guns. This is part of being American. I get it. I understand.
In case those evil brown people rise up.
Well, if there's a lot to be said about, you never know what's going to happen.
Bad hombres.
People don't understand how on the brink every day this country is from just a complete, shit show. Like, all it takes is one disaster that knocks out power or something. And then fucking, that's it.
It's pandemonium.
Pandemonium, riots, looting. Got to protect your family. Need a gun. I'm sorry. That's like, you don't want to be the guy who preaches gun control, and then pandemonium hits, and you've got to, like, fend off everybody with a bat.
I've said that for a long time, that's why I own guns.
Right.
I want to be as well equipped as my potential attacker.
Right.
Otherwise,
you're just, like Bill Burr says.
That's why I maintain an erection at all times.
All times.
Just in case I am confronted with an angry erection. Someone bearing a violent erection.
Yes.
I want to make sure I'm as well equipped as they are.
Yeah. That's how I live life.
Yeah, it's tough. I go through a lot of masking tape because I have to tape it up into my waist. It's a burden. It's a burden. It's a burden I live with.
It is. It's a cross you have to bear. So, all right. So, I think we're done with talking about gun control. But
We should have had a gun sound effect.
I get that soundboard.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Man, it's been a weird week. I still suffering through. I keep doing things that I shouldn't with my body. I don't know if this is like a self-destruction.
Go on.
I'm just saying, like, I just got over being sick, and I'm still drinking too much when I go out, and still eating things I shouldn't be eating.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so weird. It's like, I noticed this today. I've been eating since I was able to start eating solid foods again. I've been eating nothing but hot garbage, like just pizza and fucking. I had at least half a pizza yesterday when I got home. It was kind of late. Actually, it was early for me because I went to the bar early to see a couple friends I haven't seen in a while, and I ended up leaving like before midnight. Because I was there from 6 o'clock, and I was like, I can't stay here anymore. If I'm staying here, I'm gonna sleep on this table. Like, I can't be here anymore. And then I get home, and I'm just pounding pizza. And I woke up this morning, and I was like, man, like, I'm so bloated, and I don't feel good. I was like, I hopped on the scale. I was like, let's get depressed. I probably gained back all that weight that I lost, and I weigh less. I weigh 4 pounds less than I did. And I'm like, what is body? What is up with you? Like, what is going on? Is this the secret to life?
No,
whiskey and pizza?
Nah, it's not sure how much time you have left. So it's just absorbing all the pizza it
getting
can.
As much nutrients as it can.
Yeah.
And the pudding shits have not ceased. They continue to flow.
Yeah,
we were in that meeting, and I told you, man, I have.
Dude, I've had I had a rough week, poop wise as well.
Yeah.
I had like super spicy Thai food, and then that night I had Indian, which was super spicy.
Oh.
And then the next day I had like Mexican, which was spicy with like
food.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I did not eat a
you
Mexican.
Didn't eat a Mexican.
Right.
Okay.
No. I don't know.
So I hear if you put mayonnaise and
and chili powder,
chili powder,
like elote. Yeah.
That's Mexican.
No, it's just the toes and fingers. It's just the niblets. You can't have.
Oh man.
Yeah. Can't have the ear.
I love elote.
So
you know who has the best elote? Swaparama. Go to the Swaparama. They have like a little like Mexican
Are you talking
food
about
area?
the outside?
No, it's inside. It's the inside part.
Where?
What do you mean where?
Where is it?
When
There's a Swaparama like right by here,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
an
like all
LSIP.
outdoors.
No, there's an indoor section.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I love flea markets.
Let's go.
Dude, I love flea markets.
Fucking love the Swaparama.
I love flea markets. My dad used to take me to the flea market
Of course he did.
when I was little. Yeah.
My dad did too.
He used to take me to the flea market when I was little, and he would buy the weirdest shit at the flea market. There was stuff that he would only buy from the flea market.
That's why you go.
He would buy hand towels. I don't know why. He would buy razor blades for shaving.
Mm-hmm.
He would buy plastic brushes that have nylon bristles for like cleaning stuff.
Okay.
And he would buy socks.
Well, you know why?
No.
I'll tell you why. Because
Amazon didn't exist, so you couldn't get cheap Chinese garbage over the internet.
Yeah, you're right. The Swaparama was the Amazon of its time. Somebody has a box of socks that they bought in bulk or they stole.
Yeah, bought.
Right, exactly. And then they're going to sell them at, 10 cents to the dollar that you go to, a store to get. Yeah, I used to go to the Swaparama to get Nintendo games.
Oh, dude, I used to buy Pokemon games. I used to buy, Pokemon cards. I used to buy all kinds of shit.
I got games you couldn't even find in America.
Like beat 'em and eat 'em.
No, actually, that was Atari.
That was America only.
Yeah, and that was Atari.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'll tell you, Kabuki Fighter. Kabuki Fighter was a Nintendo game. It's like, well, it was a side scroller as most were, but you were in a Kabuki Fighter android. Like your thoughts were in it. You weren't. It was you were controlling the robot
with your mind.
Yeah, some link. And a Kabuki, you ever see a Kabuki Fighter?
No.
They have like face paint and long hair, and they wear like a robe. And your main attack was whipping your hair at enemies. And I loved this fucking game, and nobody had ever heard of it. Like nobody, none of my friends, like, what is the Kabuki Fighter? What is Kabuki Fighter? You gonna look it up?
I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know why I'm doing that.
Watch. Later on, watch a speed run of it. It's amazing because it's very technical. There's a lot of cool like jumping mechanics.
Kabuki Quantum Fighter on NES.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, that's it.
Okay.
It is so amazing.
I mean, it looks like every
Nintendo game,
NES game ever.
Yeah, it looks like a weird version of like Batman.
Yeah, it looks like I said, looks like every NES game ever made.
Music's good too.
Yeah, your main attack is
your whipping hair.
Oh my god!
And look, you can jump on these things, and then you go bloop,
and you swing.
Bloop. Yep.
It's a very bassy game.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it reminds me of Blaster Master.
It's very good.
I fucking love Blaster Master.
I know you do.
And they remade it, Blaster Master, on something.
I know they did.
I don't remember.
I don't know if it's Xbox Live or something.
Yeah, I don't remember what they remade it on, but they remade it on something.
Yeah, you'd think that they'd put it on like Switch or something, or Wii, since it was a Nintendo game. So yeah, I love the Swaparama. I used to get knives from there.
Yeah,
switches.
I used to get knives too.
Yeah, man, it's the place to go. But long story short, when you walk in, there's like a big glass counter where they have like the knives, and then they have like I think jewelry and other stuff in the glass counters, and then there's this little Mexican stand. And they have elote and
When's the last time you
fajitas.
were there? Did you say fajitas?
Yeah.
Wow.
They have like a little food stand.
Well, fajitas just don't strike me as like a walking around eating.
Yeah, they make them, they wrap them, they put them in paper, and then you walk around.
Oh man. When was the last time you were there?
This was 10 years ago.
Okay. So we need to do a like an R&D review.
Yeah, I'm telling you, anytime you want to go on a Sunday or whatever, I am fucking ready to go.
Football's over, so I'm down.
Yeah, nothing left to do on a Sunday. Pray and buy some knives.
Pray, knives, and Mexican corn.
Oh, so good. But we have to wait until it's kind of warm out because it's a lot better when there's stuff outside,
Hmm.
because then the people, set up their little tents. Those are the ultra super deals. That's where the guy like picks the garbage and
Oh yeah. Yep.
Hey, this
It's-
bottle of Windex is only 25 cents. Yeah, that's because he went to a bunch of parking lots, got a bunch of Windex bottles with the stuff at the bottom, combined it all into one, and selling it for 25
Yeah,
cents.
and topped it off with pee. Yeah. He's been drinking a lot of
It's got to be sterile.
he's drinking a lot of weird shit, and he's his pee's blue. I mean, you got him on. It's the American dream. You gotta manifest destiny, buddy.
I mean, your own pee is you could drink your own pee.
I don't drink Windex, so I'm not sure how we got there.
Well,
but-
I just wanted to say that,
Yeah, I know you can
That-
drink your own pee.
but you can't drink someone else's pee.
Don't tell me how high I can fly. Okay.
Same thing with shit.
Don't you stifle my dreams.
You can eat your
I'm
shit.
pretty sure you can't.
Yes, you can.
I'm pretty sure you can't.
Yeah, you can.
There's bacteria in your gut you can't
It's-
put in your mouth.
Yes, you can. It's all your bacteria.
I don't think that's the case.
You can eat your own shit and
I'm gonna
remain relatively
I'm-
safe.
relatively.
Well,
okay.
you could have something in your poo that's medically not good. That
I'm
you're
pretty
gonna
sure.
ingest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't want my.
Nobody wants their own shit in their mouth. What
That's
I'm
not
saying
true.
is,
It's not true. I can show you videos. I can show. I will take that. Yeah.
I'm totally gonna. Can
Yeah.
you?
What I'm
eat
trying to say
your
is,
own
you could
feces.
you could clean with your own urine. I mean, it would smell like piss.
Minimally toxic. Minimally is exactly what I
Minimally-
said.
What other things are minimally toxic that I also wouldn't want to eat? Let's think. On that list, shit.
Minimally toxic. What else would be minimally toxic?
I don't know, but I don't want to eat shit. Even if
Nobody
it is
wants
my
to
own.
eat shit.
Again, I beg to differ. There's evidence on the internet that
What I'm trying to say is that gun to your head, guy's got a plate of your shit.
Depends. Is it a musket?
Yes,
A musket to my head.
musket to your head.
Sounds like Daddy's eating shit tonight.
But I'm in a life or death situation. I want you to know if it's a plate of your shit or a plate of someone else's shit, you always choose your
Yeah,
shit.
obviously.
That was my point.
Got it.
Not that you would want to, but
But if I had to eat,
but this could
shit,
save your life one day.
Yeah, let's. If the musket shit bandit pays me a visit.
He doesn't want anything. He doesn't want money. He doesn't
No.
want jewelry. He just wants to watch you eat shit.
want to play a game.
Do you want to play a game? In front of you is 2 china plates.
That'd be Saw 7. You guys never played musket or shit? Come on, it's awesome. Come on. Let me go get my musket.
If you sit in a dark room and say musket and shit in the mirror 3 times. Minimally toxic. There you go.
Great.
I want
good to
this
know.
to be informative as well as entertaining.
The more you know.
For everybody.
Wonderful.
So what else? What else has been going on?
I don't know. We have
Polar vortex passed through.
we lived through the polar vortex.
Oh my god.
Negative 20, 25 degrees.
The fucking worst.
I didn't really go outside.
I went out. You know what? It reinforced the fact that I need to buy a garage door opener for my car.
It seems like a fairly easy
I don't. Is it? Like, how do you do that? Like,
buy one.
but how do you pair it with the garage
There are
door opener?
instructions. On the inside of your garage. Okay, this is gonna be really boring for some of you.
Just give me the quick
But
version.
wonderfully informative.
Is there some sort of
for
pairing
others.
button that
There
you
is
press?
there is a button.
Can you
on-
get any garage door opener?
No, it has to be like somewhat compatible. So see what kind you have. If it's a Craftsman
Genie
or a
something.
Chamberlain Genie, and then like go on Amazon, like Genie compatible garage door opener, whatever.
I'm gonna do it right now
Go for
because
it.
I need to buy it. I need to get it. I'm sick of it.
There's a couple ways to do it. If it has like a set code, there'll be dip switches on the inside of your remote that you'll have to see like what dip switches are set what way. If it's a rolling code, then you have to press the button on the inside of the garage door opener, like on the garage door opener itself, and then you press the button on the remote, and then like through some series of clicks and whistles, they will pair.
IntelliCode.
Sure. I'm surprised your car doesn't have a built-in garagey doory buttony deal.
No.
Mine does. I just never use it.
I wish it did.
Yeah, mine does.
My old car did.
Yeah.
The Lincoln.
Your old
the
car.
15-year-old Lincoln that
Yeah.
I was driving a couple years ago had it, but the fucking brand new car doesn't. Or maybe it does, and I just don't fucking know it. But there's nothing on my visor.
I think you have to enter the Konami code on your steering wheel.
Shit.
Using the media controls.
Yes.
And
Okay.
it puts it in pairing mode.
I got it. That
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Genie IntelliCode.
It's a wonderful
Get one.
piece of consumer advice here.
I mean, this looks like it. I'm just gonna fucking buy it. I'm so sick of it. I've been on a fucking spending rampage the last few days.
That is
Got the guitar.
yeah.
And when I get it, I'm gonna bring it here, and I'm gonna play some of it, and I'm gonna give a review of it.
Cool.
Because I don't think there's enough reviews of these guitars
that
aren't sponsored.
We can record it. Just,
Yeah.
Record the review.
Yeah. Something like that.
Sure.
And our first little foray into video
First foie gras.
in
Video. Oh God.
shopping. Where can you buy these?
Amazon.
It's not on Amazon.
Home Depot. Lowe's. Menards.
Ace Hardware, maybe?
Ace Hardware, maybe. I was just at Ace Hardware.
I used to work at Ace Hardware.
Really? Oh, didn't you
Almost die?
Didn't you get arrested at Ace Hardware
For
stealing an axe?
What?
There's a story. Somebody told me a story. Oh, this is somebody I went to high school with.
No.
Somebody I went to high school with almost got arrested at Ace Hardware because he was like trying to steal. They thought he was trying to steal a hatchet, but really he was just trying to make sure that the sticker would actually come off instead of leaving that residue. And then he got arrested because he had a fake ID on him, and it was a whole thing. But anyway.
No. I did get into a fight at Ace Hardware
With a hatchet?
with some dude, and then he got put in jail. But but yeah, that was fun. This is $140.
The remote?
Amazon. That can't be right.
That can't be right.
Sorry. God damn. Like, come on, man. So I bought the guitar. And I bought tickets to C2E2.
Really?
Yeah.
When is it?
I'm
just curious.
I think it's March 24th, I
Cool.
believe, Sunday. I was with sorry. I have something in my throat. I was with a couple friends and they brought it up how they were going or they wanted to go. And they haven't bought tickets yet. And I was like, I'll buy it right now. So I bought us tickets.
Sweet.
Because I think I went once like 5 years ago.
Mm.
Fudging my butt, man. Jesus. It's like a little tickle in my throat.
Is it a pubic hair?
I don't think so. Although it could be.
It could be. That was from Curb Your Enthusiasm. He had a pubic hair wrapped around his bell thing, whatever it's called. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Vigorous cunnilingus.
Yuck.
The only kind I know.
I only know 2 speeds. It's aggressive and uncomfortably aggressive.
brings me back to our line of perfumes we
Yes,
discussed
exactly.
the other day.
Oh my god.
I mentioned a bit ago that I had Indian food the other day, and so I was bringing it. There's a place in the city that I really enjoy, and so I was bringing it home, and it was in the back seat.
Sorry.
All right.
Okay, continue.
It was in the back seat of Daz's car, and he's like, It's like, dude, that really smells like that's a very strong Indian smell. I'm like, hey man, what do you want me to say? He's like, dude, that is aggressively, that is offensively Indian. like that's a great name for a fucking
Dude,
for a fucking an eau de toilette, just aggressively Indian.
it was so bad. You know, that place is really good. I like and I like Indian food, but like that place is very it's I don't know. I think maybe it's because I think a lot of food in the city is more authentic.
Mm.
You know, if you went to an Indian place out here, it's kind of like, nah, you know.
There is an Indian place in LaGrange, the town of LaGrange. It's like an Indian fusion place, but their Indian food is unreal. It's also the place where I had the spiciest thing I've ever eaten in my life. But that was something. But yeah, so we went down a whole line of like aggressively Indian, and then it was like offensively French, and it was like white trash, something white trash white or something like that.
Yeah, white trash white.
It was like it's old Mountain Dew and wet dog.
Wet dog. Cautiously Caucasian.
Have you ever wanted to smell offensively Indian?
My car still smells.
That's how
offensively Indian
and
it was.
The thing was, it smelled like really good Indian food. It was just extremely strong.
It was
just an extremely strong smell. So
it was very, very strong. I think that I found it. I think this will work. It's a newer remote, but it shouldn't matter, right?
I agree.
They should all work.
So on that note, I will go through now that we're diving into what garage remotes may or may not work.
Oh, I don't want to buy it.
It's a good.
I mean, it's only $23, but I don't want to buy it and then
I guess my point is, we can discuss that at our leisure.
I know we can.
Okay, but
it comes with a visor clip.
That's what you're looking for.
It comes with the battery.
Thank God. So we are on YouTube.
Wait, I have to prompt you. That's the whole point.
Oh, please go for it.
Hold on.
You're gonna hold the prompt hostage.
It's strong and secure.
I hate you so much.
I love my garage door openers like I love my women.
Strong,
secure, and control up to 3 doors.
Getting the Venus and Serena Williams of garage door openers.
But boy, she thick.
I believe she can control a few doors.
I think she could probably lift the garage open
without
a remote. Okay, if you want to go through the rigmarole.
We are on. I did.
What, 1 week?
No. My brain's like a VCR. I have to, if I go past the part I'm looking for, I have to rewind it, and it takes a minute to like get to where I was.
Right.
So we are on YouTube. We are on iTunes. We are on Spotify. We are on Google Play. We are on podparadise.com. We are on Twitter at RAZZLDAZZL show. We are at sorry. I just accidentally deflated my chair.
And you turned your microphone off.
No, it's fine. I accidentally deflated my chair. And I shrunk like 8 inches immediately.
Let's just see. Whoop. That was great.
So sorry.
Sorry.
Move on. After Twitter. Oh my God. We have a website. It's the razzledazzleshow.com, which actually has links to all of the aforementioned things.
We should probably do more with that.
Yeah, we should. We can.
Yeah.
Whenever you like. So, on that note, feel free to play us out. It's like the audio equivalent of epilepsy is what you're giving me when you play when you do your sweet magic. But,
you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. just say anyone who doesn't listen all the way to the end is really missing out.
They are. I really think so.
I agree.
Okay, bye.
Bye.